Thank you for tuning in to the B&RS Show.
It's shaking, brother.
It's been a long time, man.
Long time, man. Uh, shit, man. It's been a while, man. I wasn't. First off, I wasn't expecting that this was going on video. I was only anticipating audio, so it's gonna be awkward for you folks. Uh,
Listen, look at how I look. Do you see how I look?
I mean, you at least have a bright light on you, nigga. Like I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't even tell when I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
But you got a
I'm
bright
just,
background. I think
yeah.
you're all
So
right. You're all right.
yeah. I mean, whatever it is. You can still hear our voices, which is most important. So, that's all that matters the most here. And shit, yeah. I mean.
Today is, God damn it, man. It's 1 year.
It's 1 year to the exact date we were together around. We did end up linking up around this time.
We
Had
were
a
here.
couple
We
drinks
did we
before we
we
recorded.
did that one this here,
We
right?
were there. Well, yeah, crib. That
Yeah.
was when we were recording Sundays when I got off of work because of how my schedule was back then. Back before I was furloughed. Um, and it's crazy because I keep, it's wild to think about that we've just made a year on that and the year it was inside of the fact that having to remind ourselves before March 12th life was very different, and those last 9 months
Very
really
different.
were much different, and it's just been just one thing after another, and it's been like that was the first chapter of what we thought was wow, this kind of sucks. We didn't know the suck would get much worse.
We didn't know how deep it was gonna get.
We had no idea the suck
We were
was going to
very
get so much
green.
worse.
It was crazy to think that just last year we were green.
We were green, bro. But even to think about, I mean, when we the last time when we one of the last times we were with Danny, when we were talking to him, we were talking about how it's nobody's fault, the things that have happened that have prevented us moving forward and losing our momentum moving forward there every time was something that was out of our control with with the situation with the wall, and then COVID obviously, or even that we don't expect to leave there when we did
And
that
by the
last time
wall
we
by
saw
the
them.
wall we mean there was a situation where we were on a hot streak on Good Morning Bushwick, and the side of the building started to collapse.
It essentially did, like the wall buckled, and it was dude, just a random dude too walking by was like, hey, it was the landlord here, you guys, that wall's about to come down, it's like buckled in like in its back. And we are like, we're always saying something about that wall, we didn't know. And Dad's like, I told the
Who
landlord
the
too.
fuck could know about something like that? Like,
And then how long it took them to get the CO on that. And then for my last time when we did go back, when we started trying to figure it out again, then we're like, all right, we got the new year, and then we go into the new year, take a little time off, we're getting back to it, and then bang, COVID-19. Um, and then we don't officially do anything. And then we left there late November was the last thing we officially did there. We had seen them a few times before that, and then we're not back there until July 1st, like 7 months. And it was just so much like, and the year it was like, this is mainly we haven't done a year wrap up, but the year it was in that time and filling in that gap, man. And I'm sitting here rambling on, man.
I'm listening, bro, because I'm just remembering everything that we just went through.
Like what we went through this
Like
year,
we
bro.
really went through a lot of. First
We
of all,
did.
there was this episode that we did on Good Morning Bushwick that was called "What We Expect from 2020," and it was such a like this ambitious,
Right.
just
And
naive,
and the wildest
fucking.
thing is
I
like
was like,
the first
what?
3 months of 2020 were setting those plans up for us.
It's
Like
like what
before,
the
and
fuck?
even we were looking at it when we did it in
Yeah.
when we did and it's even wilder to think we did the first coronavirus episode that same night we recorded about Cobes. Every
That
time
was
we
even
put
more
something out.
crazy. Bro, I swear to you, when we first did the coronavirus episode, I said to myself, this is probably going to be one of those episodes that we never even listen to again. Like a month later, coronavirus is number one on every platform across any broadcasting fucking streaming network. Everybody's talking about this shit, and it becomes like the number one plague of our lifetime.
It's insane, man. It's wild to think about. Like I think about it, right. Like last year, me and my girlfriend, we went down to Florida. We went to Harry Potter World. We went to Universal Studios, and it's like reminding ourselves even last year, yo, that we did that this year. That was this February. That wasn't last February. That was this February, 2020, and it was the fucking suck fest, the massive fucking dumpster fire of a year that was 2020, bro. And it's like, man, like that shit was just bonkers, bro. Like, and I mean, we're talking about our personal lives, man, but for the world, for the country, just Jesus Christ, man. Like, and even to think, all right, like we're moving into 2021. This should get better. And the United States showed its ass within its first week, man, of 2021, bro. Like,
Not just
that's
his
like,
ass, it's asshole.
yo,
Because
like, it was like,
listen, if somebody sends me some nudes and they just showing cheeks, that's not nudes. You get cheeks on Victoria's Secret catalogs. What America showed was its colon in
America,
2012. They,
America gave people an intimate colonoscopy shot on that one.
it's like, yo, we might as well have just gotten a colonic this past year because all this shit got flushed out. It's like, what the
It's
fuck just happened? I thought we were on track to be, these huge celebrities, and then the world kind of just stabbed us in the rib. It stabbed everybody in the rib.
stabbed everyone, man. Only a couple. You know who's the ones who are still generating? It's like the people who like went to TikTok. It's like I told you. It's like with that challenge I told you. It's like even with Instagram Reels, where I don't understand why these are being suggested to me. And it's like every time I told you, it's like the same two challenges, same two songs. I was like, everyone here has at least 2K, has at least that K behind their followers. And it's like, bro, like I don't get it. And it's like once you get that, everybody has to do it. Is it a rule? Like I haven't understood it. But like it seems like the only people that are good are like the ones that pivoted and been okay with the TikToking. And once Instagram Reels became the same thing, essentially, it was just like it changed the game. And those are the people that are really doing, pretty decently, doing well right now. I feel like the most, you know, other people who've done other things. You see OnlyFans in it, like as Uncle Murder said on his on the 2020 wrap up. Now now you know how it feels to be a local mixtape rapper. Like, yo, your OnlyFans not popping. Now
Yo,
you know
we
how it
got
feels to be.
now. Listen, we don't have a close relationship, but shout out to Uncle Murder, man, because goddamn, every year when it comes time for like New Year's, we always, especially me and you, we talk about this shit amongst each other, and everybody's waiting for this shit in the hood. Everybody loves that wrap up. And the fact that he's willing to make these 12-minute tracks just to put
Yeah, this shit was like damn near like
it's like,
19 is like 18 minutes or some
it's
shit
like
this year.
what the fuck? I want to know. I want to know how long it took to record that shit, because I know that wasn't straight through.
I mean, probably not, man. To do all of that, it had to be a couple takes. If he did, then that's phenomenal to go that long if it's one take.
He smokes
But
too much. You could tell he smokes too much. It's like there's certain things that smokers just can't do, and spit 19 minutes worth of bars straight. Come on, like everybody folds when they go to Sway in the morning, and all he's asking for is a hot 16. Like, come on, people cannot keep up with Uncle Murder. That's just a fact. In 2021, we can solidify that this is a fact. There is no yearly wrap up that is better than Uncle Murder's yearly wrap up. And the fact that he's retiring this year from the wrap up, I hope it's a Jay-Z retirement. I hope he comes back in 2 years.
I don't know, man, because I remember for a while I didn't even know it was him until my brother told me. I remember when it was Graph and he did like the 2002, 2003, 2004 wrap ups, man. Like I remember those wrap ups back in the day, man. Um,
Bro, even now, like on as soon as I saw the Uncle Murder wrap up, I went on World Star and I typed in wrap up like the next day to see if I could find it again. And all these other like low budget wrap ups came up. I'm just like, listen, Uncle
Like, what do
Murder's
you?
a brand right now. Like, shut the fuck up, stay in your place, and just let this man do his yearly wrap up because he knows it's gonna sell.
I mean, it's like people know that that's what's gonna hit. Like, but I don't even think that's the first time I seen it come up like on a streaming service though, because I got that on Spotify. I had never seen it like come up on those before. Usually because there's a samples they gotta clear. So I'm guessing because they use older like soul samples. Those maybe artists wanted they were easy to get cleared. Working those avenues than some of the other samples he might have had. I don't know, but for that to actually be like on Spotify, like I have it, that was crazy when I saw it. Like it actually popped up on a playlist of mine, like on my daily mixes. I'm like, holy shit! Wait, does that say
Here,
Uncle Murder's 2020 wrap up?
here's Uncle
Holy shit!
Murder's 2020 wrap up.
It's wild because even they have the story of
Yeah,
Adidon on there, and it's
on the
not under
playlist.
Pusha T on the playlist. Like it's one of my daily mixes, but it's not under Pusha T though. It's under like some wild, crazy other name, and it's this Pusha T story added on. But I don't know how it's up there under that other name. It's weird. It's weird.
That
Fucking
motherfucker's
nuts. But
fixing to get sued.
yeah, that person, whenever it gets figured out on that end, yeah, most likely.
So I think that's
Oh,
a good segue because we're talking about what happened in the past year since Kobe. Let's just take about 2 minutes. Just break down what we learned about copyright law.
I think first off, I think you should lead off, man, because I just want to say I had no part in it. Other than I guess okay in the graphic, which I guess I didn't do my due diligence in that part.
You did. You're
I
supposed
was going on.
to take me
I
away
was go,
from that
I was
shit.
taking the assumption. I was going on the assumption that you did your due diligence and took
You
care of
see, but
business
this
on
is
your
the
side when
problem.
you
This
did
is the
that.
problem. Is that everybody's just throwing darts at the board, but they don't realize what kind of material the darts are made out of. It's like my shit was like bamboo. It was like my shit was not solidified. All I was doing literally for the beginning, of the show, we was trying to figure out, how to, just create some
Make
sort
the
of
graphics pop.
marketing, yeah, making some sort of marketing value happen. So we started using what Google had labeled as royalty free, assuming that Google did its due diligence. So we just kind of shifting the blame down. Like you shift the blame to me, I shift the blame to Google, Google shifts the blame to both of us. And somehow only our names was on the lawsuit.
It's the circle of blame.
It's
It's the circle of blame, and it came back to us either way. It went full circle.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But we did learn an interesting lesson, and I think it's kind of valuable to us even till today, in the fact that we
You
can't
gotta
just we can't just create some of it. We got to create all of it.
you gotta fucking sue people. That's what I learned, man. Yeah, threaten to fucking sue, man. Like I mean, I was pissed, man. And when you said the lawyer was like, "You guys could be facing how many episodes you have up right now? You guys could be facing about 243 lawsuits instead of one." And when he said that, it was like, well, if you put it like that, I guess could we tell him how
When
broke
he
we
when
are?
he broke, listen, and that I think that was the biggest takeaway from this year.
He was like, niggas was like, I mean, like you don't look like you broke. Like, come on,
I'm
look at
so
these
happy
rappers.
that I'm honestly really happy that you wasn't on that call because I'm almost like E. As much as you're E for me with the music, I'm E for you with the radio. It's like I have to manage expectations, and
Nah, I definitely wouldn't. Like, oh, listen, on that end, like, I'd have made it seem, listen, man, like, it looks good, but that's just like it looks good. Like, I'd have made him, like, listen, you know how these rappers say, these 360 deals work? I would broke it down. I'd be like, yo, like, we work on here. Funds ain't coming in like we expect here and this. Like, look, we out of work. I'm technically furloughed. I ain't get my unemployment yet, which technically I hadn't, I had just gotten it a few weeks before this happened, before this incident happened, but he wouldn't need to know that. But, I would have tried to massage it to the way, but like the funniest shit is that the person who the picture wasn't the person who sued us. It was the photographer, and that's
the
the thing that
fucking
makes
photographer.
And you know what even makes me more upset? That episode's not up. Like you could put the episode back up with a different graphic. Like if we got sued for it, at least put the episode back.
I just feel like it's bad juju right now.
Fuck bad juju with the bad guys.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up on a Patreon
Uh,
video format.
you don't have to have the. Don't put the picture. I'm not getting sued again.
That you gotta understand this. Imagine me having to tell you we're getting sued. Like, nigga, do you understand that I was pacing this apartment for days before I even brought it up to you?
Nigga.
It's like,
About the ride when I told you after we paid that
it's
shit,
like,
nigga,
what
I'm like,
the fuck?
the ride when I caved on. All right, let's get. He caved on the settlement. We could do that. I could. When he caved on the settlement and it wasn't initial damages being sought,
Yo.
and that was I could stomach that if we split it. But that ride when we were talking in the whip. It was like, nigga, anybody, nigga, anybody, fucking copy. I don't give a fuck,
Bro. I was sick. I was sick.
Son.
Sick,
bro.
sick to
I
my
was so
stomach.
angry. I was so angry every time thinking about it. Like I'm trying my best to laugh it off right now, and it's like it just reminded me, bro. Like this jabroni, we had to pay this jabroni for a picture that wasn't even of him, but it also warmed my heart all the more when the Houston Texans took away that photographer's credentials for doing that shit. That warmed my heart all the more, bro. I was just like, yo, that's what you get.
Since then, we did a nice streak on Good Morning Bushwick.
We did that. We rocked the 30 Days to Rock initiative.
We did it.
We did a nice little one. We were doing 1 day a week. Then we didn't do the daily thing. Everyone's schedules, everything going on, wouldn't allow it. But I feel like we did good with that 2 hours live, and live TV at that, not live radio, live TV. I think we did really good with that this summer. We had some really interesting interviews. What was your favorite interview from the summer, or your favorite moment from the 30 Days to Rock run?
I don't want to get fucking in trouble, bro.
Man, we didn't do anything, bro. I mean,
It's not what we did. It's what I wanted to do while it was happening. It was just. I'm just gonna say this: DS. Let's call it Nintendo because I was all DS. And if you can decipher that one, then you'll understand.
Damn, I'm so Nintendo DS.
No, fuck the Nintendo. I threw in the Nintendo just as a distractor. I'm talking about DS.
DS.
Think hard. We're not live. I got time.
DS isn't like D's?
No. Think of initials.
What? DS. DS from this. Who the fuck? I am so lost.
Think of initials.
Oh. Well, actually, we both, I'm gonna stop it there.
Why did this have to go so long? We could have solidified this shit in just a couple of minutes.
Nigga, I was in here like, nigga, what's this nigga talking about?
It's like, nigga, you know what I'm talking about, nigga. The fuck?
I'm like, I do. Hey, I actually did address it a different way. And that's once again one of those moments where I say we're talking about the same thing a different way.
Yo, honestly, I think that for moving forward, we're going to kill the video.
Yeah.
We're going to kill the video. It's just causing too much of a delay. There's a delay here. I might even just, I'm going to put this one up. I'm going to put this one up. As is. It's for the Patreon.
Yeah. Damn.
We got to figure out. We got to do this same setup, just no video. Because your audio sounds like you right here next to me, nigga. It's just crazy.
That's good. I would say my favorite moment from the 30 Days to Rock run would be the day I had to have the early morning conversation with Danny. The day I got there early. Uh,
You could have saved us.
I want to say that that did save
You
us.
could no. You could have saved us.
How? Danny act no, you know what it was? Danny said, "Yo, do you still want to have him come on?" And I was like, "Yo, if he's still coming, fuck it. Like, let's do the interview. You know, let's see what he has to say about it." And I mean, let's be honest here, man.
He had no real stretch though. He was just he's a foot soldier.
Yeah, but let's be honest here. That could have went far worse, far worse than it did, man. Um,
The only reason it
'Cause-
didn't is because the post didn't put up the whole clip.
yeah,
If they would have put up the entire episode, everyone in the country would have roasted me for being hungover on a morning show. It's just right off the bat. And then me not knowing what the hell you led that interview because you did the fucking research. When I got there that morning, I had no idea what the hell was going on.
that was and that's the craziest thing is like, yo, had I not have just read that email again before I went to go get in the shower, and I'm actually reading the news, on the toilet before getting in the shower on my phone. I'm like, why does this sound familiar? And I'm like, what's this name again? I was like, oh fuck. And that's why I was like, all right, I gotta hurry up so I can get there. Maybe Danny can have this talk. And like Danny, credit to Danny once again. Danny was straight up, and he told me there, he was like, yo, if you got questions to ask them. It makes for good interviews, makes for good
Motherfucker,
TV.
do you have questions to ask me while you pre-screening these niggas? Like, what the fuck are you doing right
Like,
now?
like at that moment though. But listen here, at that, what the dancing shit and what was going on had nothing to do with it. And that article was posted at like 3 in the morning that day. So I mean, had it not have been for my regular rituals of waking up, and the first thing I do be check, our news where we live at, Daily News, New York Post, and then other shit, and checking online to see news and shit. Um,
He was just
I would
really
have never
shaky. He
known.
was shaky when he first got in.
He was, but you know what it was? He knew. I mean,
He knew what he
when
was doing there. We didn't know what he was doing there until
nah,
after.
he was hoping we wouldn't have read that article. He was hoping we wouldn't have known what was up, and he could have, and that could have been so right. These guys don't
Yeah,
know.
but then
It
the
was like,
motherfucker midway through the interview, he's talking about Kiefer Nier as his best friend. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dick? If you're trying to do PR, if you're trying to do PR for a sex cult, don't say that you're, best friends with the head honcho that's locked up. The only leeway that we had was the fact that we thought you were dancing like an idiot in front of a fucking goddamn fucking, what is that, prison?
yes,
A regular fucking prison? That's just not even fucking surrounded by water. That's just in the middle of the fucking hood.
federal prison. Man. It's a federal prison.
Federal, but this nigga can dance in circles for Keith Rainier every night. So it's just like, what the fuck?
It was wild, bro. Yo, all I can say is that was one of the wilder moments I can say, man. But I'll say we had some really fun interviews, man. Having having Lindsay Marie when she came on with the
Lindsay's
chef.
fantastic, man.
That was extremely, that was a really
And
fun
I gotta
one.
say this. This is completely unrelated to the episode, but I think it's kind of is because that was kind of the reason we brought her on. When she came here and she cooked for us, the Cajun spices that she used, for someone who I've known her for more than 10 years, to be from Brooklyn and use that authentic, just everything about what she cooked for us that night felt Louisiana.
But you listen to the way she spoke in the interview. It's like she said going down there and like even like it coming from being a bartender and moving from the bartender to the kitchen and like being a bartender at high end nightlife spots. That's a severe drop in pay. But to take that drop in pay because of the passion, and like she said, like she's down there working because of the passion, like she loves being in kitchens, but she had to go back to working some bartender shifts to make ends meet. And I mean, that's a passion because people, unless you make that type of bartender money, you don't know what type of money it is, bro. and or people that make it, and to like know the type of money that gets made there, and to take that dip and pay is a passion, man. And speaking of her,
I,
she had a
I
passion about cooking. Even her, I told you, with her, with what she told me, made me start being more, stop. Hey, I'll stop tinkering with all my cooking and try to be more consistent and do it the same way every time instead of
but
let me try this, and that.
she she came on the show as a professional. She gave us a hell of an interview, but I don't think there's anything that I could possibly say that could explain how her food tastes. It's just something that you have to eat for yourself. Like you have to taste it because the way that she just balanced everything, and me and her, like especially me, her, and B, she grew up next to B, so she would always, especially when she got into the chef game and all that shit, she would always tell us, "Oh, go eat here, go eat here," so that we can taste her food because she was like behind the scenes. She couldn't address us personally, but she was doing the cooking and shit. When she did that shit, that last run, right around the time that we brought her on Good Morning Bushwick, bro, she left leftovers and we ate all of the leftovers. Like that is a rare occurrence in this house. I got leftovers from fucking 2 months ago, still in the fridge.
That's
Everything,
just disgusting. No offense.
everything that Lindsay left there, gone, and she left it in pots. It was a perfect amount of heat, and I could not explain that shit to somebody that didn't taste it. It's just like, how do you explain somebody who cooks with a certain amount of hot sauce that gives you that sting of the hot sauce, but then doesn't fuck up your throat? So it was like perfect on the plate, but it didn't give any of these effects that was just like, oh my God. Like,
But that's the reason. I mean, the first thing I'll say is like that's the reason like chefs know spices the right amount of put to cooking, and like people say it like when you get a steak, like a steak, a burger shouldn't require you to put ketchup or anything on it. It should be seasoned well enough that it tastes good as is. Like a steak shouldn't need A1 sauce, no Worcestershire sauce, no steak sauce. A steak
all
cooked
that
properly,
flavor is inside.
and like it shouldn't. All these hot sauces, all these condiments aren't required. Nigga. Like usually people drown it in it. And these are like artificial flavors that they think are great until you taste what it's actually supposed to taste like when it's in the food, like using like a cayenne or like a white pepper instead of black pepper. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's like simple little things like that, and or using or knowing the right peppers to use if you want to have that kick in your food, and it's knowing how to do it and get it done the right way. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, then your shit's gonna come out and be crazy. But like that, but that goes into the passion of understanding, cooking. When you speak to certain people that have a passion about cooking, then like you'll get it. Like if you ever speak to people that love cooking, like or like that like to or even bake, like what I'm saying? People that love to bake, like my girlfriend. She loves to bake and she tries stuff all the time and she tries new recipes, and people that love to do things are gonna do things like that and see how it goes for them. And it's usually, when there's passion behind this, you'll see it. Like things people are passionate about, man. Like it's other, crazy, dope interviews on that stretch going back on that run, man, that allowed us, I think, to get back into a flow again. And even, getting out of the flow was once again, no one's fault with life circumstances coming up. Um,
But I think that's always been the case with us. I think that even now, like the huge delay on the broadcast and all these things, these are these are little things that they're just obstacles, bro. It's almost like playing Mario Kart. It's like somebody throwing a shell at you. You gotta dodge that shit. If you don't dodge that shit, you're gonna get hit by that shit. So every time that we go into these situations where we put ourselves out there, and even 8, 9 years later from when we started, still saying we out here doing the fucking, and people are telling us to not do the fucking, fuck you. It's like we do the fucking. Like you can't stop us from doing the fucking because we've been doing the fucking. So what are you talking about? But Zoe, this is where you got to take over, bro, because I'm just cutting promos right now, nigga. I'm gonna go get another beer. Keep going.
That's it was you gotta look at it separate ways, different ways, man. But the whole thing, it comes down to everything that's happened. Very little of it being on fair has been firmly in our control. Uh, and I think that when everything gets settled down, there's less, everything gets situated. We'll be back with something good. Uh, a substantial product. I think that I don't know how different of a product it'd be. We'll have to see. But we're looking back on how 2020 went, and that was a fun run because you think about just mornings in there, man. Like,
So this is what I
do it again.
but this is what I need to tell you. And I hope that this is the takeaway. The product is me and you talking to each other. That's it.
It is, without a doubt.
All the cameras, all the spectacle, all the, wham, bam, boom, step and repeats, parties, all that shit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. Bro, me and you was talking to each other the same way when we was playing N64 in the hallway. When nobody knew who any of us were. When nobody cared who any of us were. I was knocking on your door, you was knocking on my door, and we was playing video games, we was wrestling, we was having a childhood that I'd say 90% of the people in this world don't get to experience today because they have social media. We didn't have that. We didn't need that. Our social media was going to the backyard. Our social media was playing with our peers and understanding who has talent and who doesn't. Oh, why is it that every time this nigga's driving up the fucking the field and he's gonna juke somebody, he goes like this?
Man, it comes down to this, and it is very simply this when it comes to the product.
We knew that.
And when it comes to this, I'm gonna use a sports analogy here. When you play ball, when you play any sport, you can't run the same play over and over and over and over, even if it's your money play. Eventually, they'll get wise to it. Get hip
Imagine
to it,
all we did was 2 on go.
They get to it. They get hip to it.
So
That's
easy.
why. But this is why where it comes in with the product, with everything is, you being able to make the adjustments on the fly. And I can understand, you know how I feel about doing the fucking, and the conversation that went behind that, is that, that mentality is never gonna go anywhere. If it offends anyone, that to me speaks to the pussy sentimentality in this country right now. And this, oh, you said something that offends me, don't say it again. When what's offensive? The word fucking? I mean, I'm sorry that it offends you, but these are things where, like, even when it's like kids hear it, man. Kids, the shit I heard as kids, I get you don't let your kids hear it, but like
It's not. This is the difference. I don't think it was the word fucking. I think it was the word we. I think it was the word we. Because if you put anybody else in the fucking world, let's just say we said Bill Gates and Elon Musk do the fucking. Ain't nobody gonna stop that shit because they've been doing the fucking. You know who doesn't realize who's doing the fucking? These people about us because they too busy worried about Elon Musk and Bill Gates. So when we say that we do the fucking, it's just a reassurance, not to just them, but ourselves. And people need to take that shit into account. These are affirmations. These are things that we would say in the mirror if we didn't have a TV show. These are things that I say in the mirror when I don't go on the air. I go in the mirror and I say, Big Daddy King Roach, you do the fucking, baby. Keep doing what you're doing because everybody's paying attention.
I've never said any positive affirmations in the mirror. I've never done that one.
You haven't done
I'm not
affirmations yet?
never done any affirmations in the mirror. I just, maybe before I do it, nice ahuga. Let's get it. You know, pre-game ritual, shake it out.
I do
Other than that,
affirmations, bro.
nah, I've never done affirmations, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm not a liar type. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I've never done it. Not knocking anyone who does, but I've never done that. But when it comes down to that, that's where I feel like it is with that. You
Words are
know,
spells. And if we don't speak highly of ourselves, no one else will.
I mean, I feel like the way that was, said was it'll always be taken the way it was. Anyone who wants to take it another way is going to take it that way. And I frequently tell you, you can't control the way people take something the way they want to hear something. They're gonna hear it their way, even though you didn't mean it that way. Even when I tell you shit, you previewing the music to me. What did I tell you with the one shit? Like, why do you have to do that? Like, why do you think that's a good idea to do that? And even your wife told you that, you know. And even with the next one, when I told you, nigga, this is not a bad song, but niggas in the comment section is gonna be dirtbags about it and gonna roast you. I gotta be honest with you about it. If you want me to
I
help you
don't
manage
care,
these
bro.
things, and when it comes down to it, you can't control the way people are gonna feel about you. You tell them that you have to feel this way, but they don't have to. They honestly don't. And I get that. I still, that's me. If it's preferred not to be said on air, I mean, it's preferred that there's a separation between Bud and Roach and other endeavors. I can understand that. It's but it's like I also said, man. If it was easy, everybody do it. You see anyone? How many people do we know who have a podcast that's just fallen by the wayside? Who 1, 2 episodes and it's the energy is there. I want all these great things and people don't follow through with it, man. And I'm not knocking anybody, but there's a lot of people that don't have it in them to do this. And even with this year, a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm ready to start a podcast." All this time, people had this whole time, this whole year, who to do it openly, like with this, with Zoom, with Skype, with anything. And even, I mean,
So I'm gonna say let me say my final thoughts because I need some sort of sleep tonight so I could not crash the car tomorrow morning. Um, Everything that I do today is a reflection of what I've done. And everything that I want to do with my life is a reflection of what I've been able to do with you. I don't think that, I deal with a lot of people on both spectrums. I'm behind the camera and I'm in front of the camera with a lot of different projects. So I have an objective perspective on things. And to me, when I look at Bud and Roach and I look at what we've done, it's not even the potential of superstardom that brings that knot to my throat or that tear to my eye. It's the fact that, bro, we was in the gutter together, and we created something that transcended anything that we could have possibly fathomed. Anything that we could have possibly I didn't think that this was going to work. I might have faked the funk the way I do with everything else. But how do you think I felt when I saw that this shit was actually working? It's like, bro, we got put under a pressure that we was not prepared for. And we still are here, thriving. We still are here, WDTF. We're doing the fucking.
listen,
And all of that time, my nigga. All of that time. And we was here watching, or listening rather, to the episode where I had that fucking breakdown, which is live on Patreon, buttonroach.com. $2 a month. Get full access. It's called what was the episode called? Back to Basics.
Back to basics.
For us to go through what we went through and still be here to talk about it is the biggest accomplishment of my life. Because I've seen too many people go for the dumbest reasons. And the fact that me and you keep waking up and we still can talk to each other and do this, that is the biggest blessing I've ever gotten. So whether this shit takes off or not, I want to tell you live on the air that you have been the biggest, the best thing in my life.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. You're a big part of my life, also, man. Um, I'll say it here like this when it comes down to this whole thing, man. I consider, the things we've done to ourselves to shoot ourselves in the foot over the years. Picking up some dead weight over the years and not realizing it. Some unnecessary weight, attaching unnecessary shit to us. Um, I think that the biggest thing that'll hold us back. And the only thing that really stops us and hurts us when it comes down to things breaks and pauses that we take away momentum, whether we want to take them or not, whether it's in our control of taking them or not. Doing something like this is in our control. Doing other projects, not so much when we're working with other people. That's neither here nor there. When it comes down to Bud and Roach, man, I think seeing the way, like you said, man, that it's just us, our voices doing it. That's what we gotta do is keep doing it, man, because there's no replacing it. There's no there's no other dynamics like this in the world. There's some similar. There's some, some that you call like when we did real estate, some comparable listings to two people talking like this.
Exactly.
There are tons of comparable listings, but there's no unique exclusive listing like this in real estate terms. So that's the way I look at it. That we're our own unique package. People need to look at it. I know people hate when I use sports terms, but you look at a lot of athletes like that, man. Um, People that have played away. People said it for the whole time. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were together. You know, is Bill Belichick the genius or is Brady the great one? And within 1 year, we got to see the difference of it. Brady's the great one. They separated. They thought the mind behind him was it, and Brady was able to go somewhere. Took a couple knocks and bumps, but look at him now. And you guys are rebuilding and don't know what to do. So that's another sports analogy. Just I know people hate when I drop those, get annoyed with them somewhat, but that's the way I say. And I always tell you, look at it, is that it's not gonna happen overnight. We knew that. We always knew that. We just gotta keep killing it, big. Like we're gonna catch the shit. We're gonna catch up to the shit. Um, I like I say every time, I don't think there's anyone or any two people that do this in the world that are better than me and you. Um, and we
I don't
just
think
need the
there's
world.
anybody, bro. There's
I
nobody.
did. We just need the entire world there, and when the entire world sees that there's such a depth of back work to go along with
But
work.
this is the other thing that like I'll end it with this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want you to also understand this moving forward. The only thing that's stopping us from being successful is a marketing budget. That's it. Because the entire world right now, all they're doing is preparing themselves to market. So everybody goes and they spend all this money trying to present themselves a certain way before they put themselves out to market. We've been the same people for a long time. Like, my nigga, I haven't changed. It's like, I'm still the same fucking. I mean, I might have grown up a little bit, but I'm still saying the same shit. And you're still the same guy. And we just kind of get older. And because we get older, now
I
we're
think I've matured
understanding.
somewhat.
We've matured, but me and you can still have a conversation for 2 hours about No Mercy. So it's not like, oh, don't talk to me about that shit. It's not like that. And I like to think that every time you want to talk about something, I entertain the shit, whether I want to talk about it or not. I've spoken about a bunch of shit that you wanted to speak about on the air. But the fact of the matter is that we've reached a point in our lives where we completely understand who we are and where our strengths are. So it's not so much testing the market out anymore. It's just trying to find the avenues that entertain our strengths the most. And right now, I think just us doing this broadcast tonight, there was a lot of delays in the video, and people are going to see this. And not once throughout this broadcast did I think, oh, maybe I shouldn't post this. No, because if there's a fucking delay on the video, that just means that people need to fucking subscribe so that they can pay us so that we can upgrade. You want to see us without the fucking delay? Then you fucking pay for that shit. I'm not fucking paying for that shit. Zoe's not fucking paying for that shit. If you want that shit, then you fucking pay for that shit. And if you don't fucking pay for that shit, then get the fuck off the channel. Simple as that. Me and this guy right here, I've known him my whole life. We can go back to radio, remove all the screens. You won't even be able to see me anymore. Boom, I'm black. Then what happens? Now you stuck there with your dick in your hand, not knowing what to jerk off to. Listen, if you do any fucking thing tonight, and you listen to this jabroni podcast of two fucking people right now that's just trying to reminisce on what happened since Kobe died, then you go to buttonroach.com and you fucking subscribe for $2 a month. Because that $2 a month is going to go to improving the broadcast. You want us to be better? Then you pay us to be better. Because if you don't, then fuck you. Right, Zoe? Fuck them. We'll go get a PlayStation 1 and get Cool Borders 3. And nobody will hear from us for the next 30 days. Fuck them. Tell these people to go fuck themselves, bro.
I'm not gonna tell our listeners to go fuck themselves. I appreciate you. You just cut a long promo. I didn't want to cut you off there, bro.
Fuck them.
First thing I'm gonna say is when you see this video, you're gonna see me snickering a lot, my nigga, and I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Like, first thing is the audio's not cutting, which is perfect, but the video was coming in chopped up, so I'm hearing you.
Yeah, because we overextending ourselves.
Late. I saw your gestures a few seconds late, so it was a little bit extra funny with your little rant there. With your promo you cut there, it's a little bit extra funny. When you see it back with the video, you'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna see it.
We're trying to do funny. TV with radio budget, and
it's funny. When you see it, you're gonna laugh at it. When you see it, you're gonna laugh at it. I say this. It'll happen. It's gonna happen. We know it's there. We've been, pressing towards it for a while. It's right there, man. Over 600 hours of video for you folks on the Patreon. Like I said, $2 a month. We're talking from our very first seconds. Files you were able to cover that we're still sorting through, videos, other stuff you were able to recover that we're still sorting through. When you guys see it, man, you'll see everything that we were doing then that we've been doing now. You'll see, we talk about with having some dead weight around. You'll see videos with people that aren't still part of it, but it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. So you guys will see. It's no longer what are these guys talking about with all this shit. You guys will see, hear everything. So, like Roach said, it's over 600 hours, man. There's still other stuff we haven't gotten. There's still some other stuff we're trying to recover. So, like he said, man, and we'll be back because we didn't even get through the whole everything that's happened with Kobe, but Roach has things to do tomorrow. So we'll get back to the other part of everything.
It's family things. So as soon as I'm done with the family things, listen, we're doing this shit remote. Tomorrow we're not gonna have cameras. We're gonna have a seamless broadcast. I'm gonna redesign the entire front so that we can get all the audio fluctuations on a grander scale. Remove me and Zoe on video so that it's a seamless broadcast. And we're gonna bring you more fucking content from the GSF fam because we've been doing the fucking since a long time. I'm not even gonna say since 2012. We've been doing the fucking since we was born.
Word, baby, GSF, baby, do the fucking, you heard?
So come on, bro. So do yourself a favor, go to buttonroach.com. If not, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Button Roach Show.